Doug MPA back with another video. So guys, it is an election year. It's 2024, so you know the craziness is about to start. And just so everyone knows, Doug MPA is a registered independent. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I think both sides have their issues. But once again, you're going to start seeing stuff like this. Could a woman be elected in 2024? Perhaps, but new roadblocks have emerged to complicate the issue. And I'm going to say it right now, guys. I'm 43 years old. In my lifetime, there's not going to be a woman president. You want to know why? Because women can't stand each other, man. They really can't. You guys realize that if women make up 52% of the population, so if every single woman voted for a female candidate, she'd win. But women don't want to see another woman succeed. A good percent of the population, at least. And this article addresses Nikki Haley, you know, Republican candidate, former ambassador to the UN, former governor of South Carolina, and saying that she's a good candidate, but there are roadblocks in her way. So we're going to get into this article. Before I do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. It shows you support me and what I'm doing over here. And let me know what you think about what these ladies are saying about a female presidential candidate, okay? It says, has DT, can't say his last name on YouTube because you get caught up, created a new template for an American president. And does this template create new psychological barriers for a woman ever hearing the strains of Hail to the Chief played for her? The answer may be yes. The woman in the spotlight at the moment is Nikki Haley, who has thrown her hat in the ring for 2024. She was the Orange Man's ambassador to the United States, and before that, the governor of South Carolina. The people have the power in politics are typically men who have battled their way to the top of the ladder. And here's the thing, battle their way. Guys, I have a bachelor's degree in public policy and a master's in public administration and policy. And I can tell you, having studied one of the hardest industries to have a career in is politics. If someone's been in politics for 30 years, they are not to be trifled with. Okay? You know what? There's no harder industry to stay relevant and successful in for decades at a time than politics. Okay. It says even though more women than ever before were elected to Congress in 2018, females occupy less than a third of the seats. None of the Democratic women presidential candidates got the nod 2020, and the glass ceiling remains firmly in place. Kamala Harris, of course, got the VP nomination. And once again, what do women predominantly vote? Democrat. But none of the Democratic women presidential candidates got the nod. What's that tell you right there? So this article was called, at the time, they wrote, maybe next time, ladies, or maybe not. As this person wrote, it won't happen soon. Gender stereotypes run too deep. Americans have managed to elect a black president and decades ago a Catholic one. It's not hard to imagine electing a Jewish or Mormon president soon, and likewise an Asian or Latina one. But a woman president is another matter. Why? The prejudices around women run surprisingly deep and hard to budge. A poll on perceived electability by this group found that gender appeared to be a bigger issue than age, race, ideology, or orientation. So here we go, guys. They're going to blame it on men and how men have all this privilege and how men can be angry, whereas women, if they get angry, they're seen as being a angry woman, an angry bitch, or whatever. Here it goes. In the workplace, men have an anger advantage. I'm surprised that they didn't call that an emotional gap or something like that. So, some kind of gap. As we reported in this blog, public expressions of emotions are governed by strongly gendered social rules. Those rules strongly favor men. Oh, do they really? You guys remember that that study they did? Multiple YouTube sites have done it, where a woman can openly hit a man in public and no one comes to his defense. But if a man is hitting a woman, everyone rushes to the woman's defense. I would argue in 2024, women are fully allowed to emote the full range of emotions: sadness, despair, anger, all that stuff, and no one stops them. But men can't. Men have to stay in control of their emotions, and it's a terrible double standard, you guys. I see why it's there, because if a guy isn't in control of his emotions, violence can happen. But women can fully emote, men can't. It says male job applicants who expressed anger were shown to be more likely to be hired than those who expressed sadness, and they were subsequently given more power and autonomy in their jobs. And here's the thing: one of the reasons why, my father told me when I was young, when you encounter adversity or something bad happens, you have two knee-jerk emotions you can feel: anger or sadness. My dad used to tell me, get angry, Doug MPA, because anger is an emotion of action. Women have tried to associate male anger with violence, and that's not how it goes. But anger is an emotion of action. Sadness is an emotion of inaction. So, guys, if you if you encounter adversity, something happens, get angry about it so you can go do something about it. Don't get violent. Don't get irrational, but get angry about it, because it'll translate into action. You can harness your anger. Learn how to put logic to it. Seek out other men to be able to help you channel that anger into good action. That's why these guys were rewarded about getting angry, because they showed probably they were men of action and willing to do what's necessary to get the job done. When men express anger, they are seen as powerful, competent, and worthy of a high salary. When women do the same, they are seen as less competent, less powerful, and less likely to be paid a lucrative salary. When men explode, the anger is viewed as understandable, their competence isn't questioned, and they don't lose status. Angry women are seen as overreactive and not worthy of being well paid, while angry men don't suffer. And what this comes down to is, remember, St. Kevin Samuel said it: if there's anger between two men and it gets to a certain point, men are going to fight, dude. A woman getting angry is not the same. It's like, what are you going to do? You're getting angry. A woman, I hate to say this, guys, a woman getting angry, like, she can't physically defend herself. That's why young boys will never look at a Stacey Abrams or a Kamala Harris and say, I want to be like her when I grow up, because boys, we know deep down that there could be a chance that we will have to protect that woman. That's why anger in men and anger in women are seen differently. I'm not going to lie. I've had certain women in my life that they get angry and I laugh at them. I'm like, what? You're angry right now for what? What are you going to do? Tell me I'm lying, guys. Tell me I'm lying. It says, men can convince others that the cause of their anger is appropriate. You don't know why? Because we use logic and try not to put our feelings into it. And we can usually, if we're at point C, we can logically explain point A and point B that got us to point C when we're angry, and can persuade others to accept their arguments. An angry woman rarely gets this opportunity. These psychologists designed a study in 2015 to examine what happens when women and men become angry during jury deliberations. So, blah, 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 whatever. Is there a solution of this dilemma for women? Yes, but it requires an extra step that men never have to take. Women can mitigate the damage their anger creates by explaining what caused it. So this suggests that women do get angry at work. They should offer an explanation for the behavior that is tied not to their personality but to the situation. When women can explain why they're angry, they can avoid harsh judgments they would otherwise suffer. So here's where they get into Nikki Haley. She had the GOP debate with Vivek Ramaswamy, and they talked about TikTok, and then she called him a scumbag. And Donald, the DT laughed it off. So it says, it just goes into her position. She's trying to say she's pro-life, but she understands the pro-choice argument, and then she talks about Sarah Palin and stuff. Anyway, what this comes down to is Nikki Haley's a Republican, so she's not going to get the Democratic women's vote at all. She's just not. Nikki Haley's not going to get through the primary. She's just not. And so this goes back to the beginning of the video. I said women can't stand each other, man. Women on the left aren't going to vote for Nikki Haley just because she's not on the left. Women on the right are gonna vote for Nikki Haley because she's a woman, and they see that that men are better leaders. So she's up a creek. And like I said at the beginning of this video, almost 52%, I think it's like 51.5% of the United States is women. If every single woman voted for a woman candidate, she'd win. But they're not going to. And they can keep blaming men all they want. Oh, men this, men that. Guys, no. This is a woman problem. Guys, you have the freedom to vote for whoever you want. So vote for whoever you want. And the fact that there's never going to be a woman president is not your fault, guys. I'm going to say it one more time. I'm 43 years old. And I guarantee you we will never see a woman president in my lifetime. I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. Who knows? Might be a good idea. I don't know. But if it's up to women, it's never going to happen. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one.